right. Hello, everybody. It has been a long time. And sure enough, coming back for our first day, figures we'd be in a rush. We have an ant problem in the house right now. It is hot as balls out. The cat's food was all fucked up. But we're going to get to a lot of stuff because we have been MIA for at least a few months. And we've had some big changes, or the reason that we haven't been doing the podcast. So say hello.
Hello, what's up? It's hot in here. We're clearly in a new location, and it's temporary.
Yes.
For a while.
Earlier, we were planning on doing this when we woke up, and it was actually nice in here. But yeah, shit happens throughout the morning already, and here we are, trying not to sweat. This is where we are. This setup, I don't know if it's going to be permanent or not. Obviously, the table, the stuff behind us, it's hard to see. We're just gonna. It's a first time trying the setup to see if it really works. So, but we wanted to get the ball rolling again because we missed doing this. I think it's been on the back of our minds, but I want to give some credit to whenever we watch Rob and Dana Bailey, they always give us a kick in the ass. And we went on a streak, probably about 4 or 5 hours of YouTube videos the other day watching them. And we just want to get this started in and get going. So if you haven't noticed, like Jamie said, we are in a new location and we moved.
Yep, sure did. When did we move? March. I think we moved in March or the end of February.
Yep.
I don't remember if we were recording, had shared that we had to move at the old house. Like our landlord that, let us know that they were going to be selling the house, so we had to move. We very possibly talked about that before we moved. I can't remember for sure.
So I want to say that we did a holiday episode, was the last episode, and we found out like a month later that we were going to be moving.
Yeah, so...
And I think that it didn't make sense for us to be like, well, let's record another podcast in our house and then have to move everything and not know where we're going to be or what we're going to do.
Yeah, because ultimately, I mean, that threw us through a loop anyway. Like, that was really stressful times because we weren't looking to move. And to be honest, being self-employed, both of us, having to move still during a pandemic where things are still being affected, it was like, oh, crap. And then in our area, the Central Coast is where... right now, things are it's hard. Everybody's looking for rentals. Rental prices are ridiculous, and people are that are buying or trying to buy, but it's not, it's a seller's market apparently. I'm not super familiar with the real estate, but it's not a buyer's market. And so people are going in on putting on offers on houses for sale at like, $50,000 up of what they're asking. So it's crazy. So when we found out we had to move, it was like, okay, now the house we rented was through a family friend. And so rent was super affordable, never raised it on us, kept it the same for the few years that we were there. And it worked for our budget, and so knowing that we had to move, it was in order to keep the same price range, it was going to be probably putting us in an apartment at this time, with a family of 6 and a cat, not super doable. So it was, and who's going to rent to a family of 6 in an apartment? Yeah. So it was kind of like, okay, so now we're back to, this. And so I had some friends add me to some Facebook rental groups, but it was scary to see because people would be commenting like, oh, we've been looking for 3 months. We've been looking for a year. And, whenever we go look at a place, there's 20 people applying for it. And, it was a little scary, and we knew we were going to have, we wanted something bigger at that point. We knew we wanted, we were going to be having to pay more rent. Like we knew there was a lot of factors into it, and still my business wasn't still back where it was, luckily he's working, his ass off. So anyway, got added to these Facebook rental groups, and house here in Atascadero where we live went up for rent. I saw it like an hour after it had gotten posted. It was somebody posting it for a family member, text this number to see it. So, there was me messaging, and then like probably 30 people after that, all interested. So obviously I immediately messaged to, and the other thing was, it was at the max we wanted to pay for rent. Like that was also like we had a max that we wanted to pay, and it was the max, but I was like, let's go for it. Let's just go look at it and see. I fell in love with the house when we viewed it. When we came through to see it, I just loved it. It had, it was a lot bigger than what we had been in, with the yard
Updated.
and updates. Like the people definitely, a lot of times you'll find a rental and the house has never been updated. Like it's so dated, it's so old. It's like, ugh. But you do what you got to do. This one, like I was like, oh, it's so pretty. They're putting new floors in and new fence, and it was just really, really nice and so clean. So we went through it, chatted with the people. They were spacing people out to view it because of the COVID stuff. So the whole social distancing. It was disheartening to walk through the house and come out to a line of people down the sidewalk, waiting their turn to see it. So it was like, I had come prepared. I had our application filled out. I had a lot of info that they could use. I had a little, I typed up a little blurb about our family, who we are, what we did for a living, just because I feel like, applications don't tell you enough about, your possible renter, so anything I could do to give us a little up, I did. But I saw, like, when I walked out, I was like, who's going to, there? Obviously, you would go with somebody that has maybe less family because it's less wear and tear on the house, maybe someone that doesn't have pets, even though they allowed pets, maybe somebody that has way better credit scores. There's so many factors that go into it. So I was like, we'll see. Well, that evening, she actually texted me and said they would like to move forward with the application process. And if I can send her a few more things like proof of income and everything. Of course, I was on it like immediately. I was like, oh my gosh, yes. Well, within, I would say, probably less than a week of us starting to be on the hunt for a rental, and within 48 hours of looking at the house we're in now, they offered it to us.
Yeah.
And it was like, huge weight off our shoulders immediately. Our landlord that we currently had was super awesome. He's like, if you find something that is going to be available sooner, just go. Like, don't worry about the, 30 days and this and that, So, we had so much flexibility. I think we moved within about 3 weeks. We packed up the house and moved in, and it was really cool. Like it just, it was really nice. And we were so thankful and so relieved because, again, I'm still seeing the same people that have been looking for homes are still looking. I have 3 friends right now that are on the hunt for rentals and that they need by the end of July. And it's scary times out there. So I was super relieved. I was so glad I do love renting through owners instead of property management. I think that just is really helpful to connect with somebody. And, yeah, so that was a relief, so that was one thing. And then...
Yeah, so when we moved in here, obviously you know what it's like moving into a new house. You don't get on your feet right away. You have to get the feel, the rhythm, whether it's cooking and finding the kitchen, the bathrooms. There's a rhythm you get to in a house when you start to feel comfortable, like, okay, now this is our home. Like, so we knew the podcast wasn't going to happen right away. Had to figure out location, how we're going to do it, what time. And the time that we were going to do it is changing because in order to make this house work, we also had to have a little bit of changes in our work life. So when the pandemic started, I got a morning job. Well, it's actually been a couple years now, so even before that.
Yeah.
To help with extra income.
It was supposed to be temporary. It was supposed to just be for the holidays.
For the holidays. And then the pandemic happened, and
you kept it.
Thankfully, I kept it. And there's nothing more than I hate waking up at 3 a.m. to do this. But I do it because it has to be done. And moving into this house, because of the pandemic, we still didn't know what was going to happen with Jamie's business as far as volume. We didn't know it could be the salon industry and all that was just up and down. What's going to happen? We didn't know. So Jamie took it upon herself to realize in order to make this work, I have to do something also. And now you're balls to the wall in both, and I'll let you explain that since it's on you.
So ultimately, I was like, okay, doing numbers. What do I need to do for my business to up my tanning? What can I offer to bring more people in right now, even though still no concerts, no weddings, no fair. Like, there's still nothing happening. My clientele base was getting better. I mean, well, my clientele base is great, but my appointments were getting better. Like, there was improvement. So I was like, okay, there's light at the end of this tunnel. It's not just my regulars that love me and are supporting me that want their weekly tans. There was starting to be movement again, but not quite what we needed to be comfortable here. We didn't want to be. We don't want a headache every month. We don't want to be like, oh my god, we got to pull from this bill to this bill to cover this. We're going to be on top ramen for the next 3 weeks to make sure we cover rent. Like, I love this house so much. I wanted to find to make it work, but be comfortable. And so I literally was like racking my brain. What can I do? I did the clothes, but then when, I just wasn't putting as much effort as I had been doing it, and the self-tanning mousse was blowing up during the beginning of the pandemic, but everybody, eventually that died down too.
Yeah.
People knew they can call me if they need more, and they were, but it just wasn't, it was kind of like, okay, we got to, think outside the box, keep thinking. Well, I happened to be out to dinner with my best friend, soul sister, Alicia, and she is RDA, or very close, almost. And what?
I like it how you say solsista, not even the R. Solsista.
And she and I were, so she was talking about work and how, her and the other RDAs were just, stressed because they just needed some more help with some of the back office stuff that happens at a dental office, which I knew nothing about at the time. And jokingly, I was like, I'll do it, kind of joking, kind of like, well, maybe I could do it. And then she looks at me like, are you serious? And I was like, well, yeah, we can work with my tanning business because obviously, that's not going anywhere. Like never, ever, ever did I think my business is going to be shut down. I mean, I survived the scariest part of the pandemic, and I knew it wasn't going anywhere, but I did have a little bit more free time on my hands because I wasn't working every single day or, 4 days a week. And so
with the amount of money that you could make in an hour, there's no way that wasn't going to still be a priority.
Right, exactly. And so her and I got talking, and she was like, we were talking about part-time hours, what could work. When school goes back in session in the fall, I want to be able to still take my kids to school. Obviously, he's around to pick up. So, there was factors into it that I had to keep, in place in order to make it work. I didn't want to work full-time. Didn't want to work 5 days a week. Friday mornings are my mornings at the tanning studio, so just trying to her and I go back and forth discussing it. So she presented it to the back office manager, who actually is one of my friends, and another girl that I actually spray tan trained. She's actually certified. And she runs the whole back office at this office, and they talked, and she was like, oh my gosh, let's bring Jamie on. They approached the dentist, one of the dentists who's the owner, told him, hey, we have someone that's willing to work part-time hours, just wants to be back here, she's reliable, and first he hesitated, like, well, she's, I kind of was hoping to bring on somebody that has an RDA already. And, they're like, oh my gosh, you want to bring Jamie on. And so, again, I guess within less than a week, I met him once, went in the office, and probably 24 hours later, they called me and offered me the position. And I think that was a Thursday. He asked me to start on Friday, but I, reminded him, one, I'm not doing Fridays and I'm not available. And two, I didn't have scrubs. Years and years ago, I worked for a job with scrubs. I got rid of those. So I had to go on Amazon Prime and overnight me some scrubs. Started Monday. So that was February.
Yeah, those scrubs wouldn't have fit anyways.
March 1st? It was the first of the month that I started working there. So if I started there, I didn't start there before here, did I?
No.
No, huh? Or was it right around the same?
It was shortly after, I think.
Okay. So started there, and I absolutely love it. I work Monday through Thursday. I go in at 9, and I leave there I'm off at 4, but it's so busy, I don't get out of there till about 4:15, and then usually I'm hauling ass over to the tanning studio. But go figure, as soon as I pick up this job, as soon as I'm like, okay, I love this job, business freaking starts booming. Things start opening up again, and my tanning books are insane, and I'm a little overwhelmed. Like, holy crap! Like, oh my gosh, yeah, it's just figures. So I've been pulling like long days. Like, I get up at 5 a.m. to get my workout in, get stuff done around the house, clean up, get ready, go to work, leave there, go straight to tanning studio and offer tans. I'm back to like 15-minute appointments. I was doing 30 minutes. I'm back to 15-minute appointments, and I'm trying to get out of there between 7 and 8. But the thing is, now that I love this dental position so much, I want to make them both work. It's not like, if I hated the job, I'd probably be like, well, shit, now I don't need to work there anymore. Like, my business, can fill it up now because I'm having to put people on a waiting list or refer them out now because I'm too full. But I love this job so much. And not only do I love the job, I love the people, but I love the security of it. Yes. Having the pandemic hit and my business be shut down overnight was like, a reality check, and we aren't big planners for the future. Like, well, I'll be honest, we're really not. I'm always in awe of people that are. We're not, and so we didn't have that plan B. Like, okay, we've got like $6 billion in savings, we'll be fine, blah 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 blah. So having that job security of this job and a paycheck every 2 weeks it's definitely been nice. So I'm there doing that. I absolutely love it. I've learned so much. Who knew I would love teeth? And then on top of that, business is super, super busy. So it's all good though. It's good.
It's all good. And for the first time, I think we're seeing, for years there were a lot of struggles, but then there were years even at our last house where it was enough to get by and we became complacent.
Yeah.
I think now the hard work, the long days, this is the most we've paid for rent compared to another house that we had, which was maybe around the same price.
And that was a reality check then.
That was a reality check then.
That was a hard lesson learned. We were basically paying rent to we were working to pay rent. Like there was nothing fun extra. There was no staycations. There was no trips or going to eat out very often. And if we did, we put ourselves back. Like then it was like we need to stop. We need to take care of rent. And so we only stayed in that house for a year because for us it was like, okay, this isn't fun. Yeah, we love this house. It has a pool, but at the same time, like this isn't how we want to live. That was hard.
So almost every house that we've lived in previously, the stress was just up to our shoulders. It was every month, what do we got to do? What do we have to do? This is the first time that we've been in a house where we're not walking on eggshells, not just around each other, but the comfort levels there. And yeah, the some of the days are long and hard, and I think it's worth it. Our savings has never been this well, and being able to have rent ready and not have to think, do we have enough, has been a great feeling. And it's been worth it for what we've had to do.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, it's been an adjustment.
Yeah.
I mean, in the beginning, the first weeks, he would text me because I'd be gone all day. He's like, I miss having you home. And here I was so excited to have a house with a full dining room with the dining table and being able to do dinners together at the table with the kids because we didn't do that at the other house. It was really small. And so, that one of my favorite things is eating together. So then all of a sudden, well, out the door, I'm not home, thank goodness for him, thank goodness for his hour that he works early mornings and afternoons. So he's home, but then he's every night, he's handling dinners and Cruz's homework and getting all that squared away while I'm gone. And, I hate it to a degree. I mean, there's things I just don't like about what we've had to do, but at the same time, like he and I luckily make a good team and we can be like, okay, we got to do what we got to do. It's better because then come Friday, he's done. He doesn't do landscaping. So he's done by, 8 a.m. And if I do clients, I'm usually done. I try to make myself done by noon. So then we have Friday, Saturday, Sunday, to do stuff, and, so you have to make those sacrifices, I mean, granted, I never thought I'd be back in a job position, it is, there are times where I'm like, because I used to be able to, just make appointments for myself or the kids at any time. Like, oh yeah, I'll just not schedule clients. But now I'm like, okay, I work during those hours. That's not going to work. Or shoot, they'll offer these appointments that are important during any other hours but my work hours. So I have to ask somebody, hey, is it cool if I take, a long lunch or if I, get off early or come in late or take this day off? Like that's definitely been an adjustment after so many 5 years of not having to answer to somebody. So that's been kind of hard, but I will take that in a heartbeat because where we're at now, we're able to do stuff comfortably, and then on top of all that, check engine light goes on our Pathfinder that, we ran that car into the ground. Jeez. It had 230,000 miles on it. Paid off. We didn't, that was something we didn't have car payments, but car's about to die. And it's like, okay, that's not going to work either, but we don't want $1 million car payment, and, we haven't had a car payment. I don't even know when's the last time we had a car payment. So the idea of that too is like, okay, this is our budget. But we want something new because we drive a lot, and we want, newer. We can't get brand new probably, but it's got to be low miles and stuff. And so,
and good gas mileage.
And good gas mileage.
The fucking gas right now, even in my truck, driving it to work every day and back now is just,
sucks.
This fucking gas sucks so bad.
Yeah. So, and I was putting money into the Pathfinder probably every other day, if not every day, between the two of us. You know, when he would drive it too. So it was like, okay, so now we need a car shop. Like, it was like, okay, thank goodness I have this job at the dental office. Thank goodness he still has the warehouse job in the mornings, because now we have to have a car payment, which we know a newer car is going to require more expensive insurance. So it's like, it was a snowball effect. So thank goodness, shout out to our friends Sarah and Justin Hendricks, who own Kia Motors in Templeton. Honestly, I went in wanting a Honda. I wanted, a cute, sporty looking Honda, but something that makes sense. I mean, I would love an Audi. I would love a Beamer. I would love a Porsche SUV. But in the reality, I've got to be practical, because we're not trying to kill ourselves. We're finally in this good spot. So went over there, ended up leaving with a 2019 Kia Optima, which I love. Like, I'm actually pretty, like, feel like I can't be like bragging, right? It's like, look at my Optima, but it's black. It's went and got the windows tinted within like the first week. And I get gas maybe once every week and a half.
Yeah.
Maybe. And it's amazing. Like, I absolutely love it. So on top of everything else, house, cars, jobs, we're still here. We're doing our thing.
Yeah. So, like I said at the beginning, some days work, like Jamie said, the stability. There's not a day that I wake up at 3 a.m. and I'm like, yes, I get to go to an awesome job. But it's a necessity. And when I talked about complacency at our old places, it was just enough to get by. Now our goal is, let's not be complacent being good and comfortable right now. Let's level up again. Let's level up more and see the better things that we can. Not necessarily materials, but maybe a better vacation that's not just a day trip or something that is more grand. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's see if we can level up from our comfort level to being better, and that's hard work too. Everything that I've watched and listened to, everything that we are influencers or people that we are inspired by. They never are complacent in everything that they work for. It's hard ass work. So I don't want us to scrape by because we have easy jobs or easy, like, whatever's next, it's going to take us working a lot to get to. So that's why I really wanted to get the ball rolling on this. We had fun doing this, and I just didn't want to let it go by the wayside and be like, well, that was fun while we did it, because
we do that a lot.
We do that a lot.
Yeah, we do that. We get excited about something and have these ideas, and then we go, but this was something that, plus now with our schedules being so busy and we aren't home as much together, it's nice, something that we do enjoy doing together, and have fun with and stuff, so yeah, it's kind of nice, and it's fun when you see people out and about and they're like, hey, I haven't seen a new, salty Blowie in a while.
People,
and again,
have no idea.
Yeah, it goes back to the same thing we've talked about before. Like, hey, we love that we run into people that actually know our podcast and watch or whatever, but at the same time, like, subscribe.
Don't subscribe, like, so we have no idea who's
yeah, exactly. I'm like,
oh,
I didn't know you watch, or I didn't, that's interesting, and we love, constructive criticism, like, oh, you guys should do this, or we love this about this, we take it all in and appreciate that for sure. So yeah, it's just funny to run into people and you're like, oh, I had no idea you knew who we were, so it's pretty cool. But at the same time, your support helps us and actually helps even motivate us even more to keep the ball rolling, so on top of all that, you would think with everything going on and being all the stuff that's been happening, I bet you guys thought we were both going to be like huge and out of shape for but being, keeping track of our health and fitness, but he's been on a roll. He's like hit his weight loss PR and
so I was going to touch on that and save it for next time and explain what we've been doing. But like she just said, it's been, there's times where we fall out of, like yesterday we had all the treats in the world and all the sushi in the world.
Oh, so good though.
But, yes, hit a big PR, been under a number that I wanted to get at for a while, which is under 300. And now it's not being, I think I might as well get into it now, but I think for the longest time I wanted to have short-term goals, and those were great, but I think I've been taking the effect of long-term, and that's helped. Like, if you get to your number and then you're like, yeah, I got here, then you think you can binge, you think you can go on the week, and the weekends just destroy you. So I think I've taken the perspective of the long game rather than wanting short-term results and then just sitting there and then going up and down. It really is for life. So I think that's how I've been able to maintain a lot of my slow decreases rather than just big jumps up, big jump, stuff like that. So
yeah, I know. And that's the other thing too is, we were big gym rats together. We went to the, our same gym for years and years and years. We'd go together and do our workouts and stuff. And that has changed as well.
Mm-hmm.
We did cancel our membership where we had been at for a long time. It was just time for a change. Sometimes that just, that's just life. And we were both ready for a change. I don't want to say change of scenery, but I guess we just want to do different things.
Yeah.
So he actually joined Headstrong North, which is really cool gym, but he does the open gym there, not classes. A lot of people think like, oh, you got into CrossFit classes, and it's not a CrossFit gym. It used to be. But he does the open gym there. And in the beginning, before he started my new job, I was going once a week with him there for a squat or deadlift sesh, just for some heavy weights and stuff. But then I started the job, and I was supposed to be going on Fridays, but I have just not had the motivation to go there. But I have been doing, so we had gotten our Peloton, which you guys know, at the old house. And so I really have enjoyed just getting, every morning I get on the bike and then I follow it with that Peloton app has been amazing for me as far as like strength, HIIT, yoga, Pilates. I do a little bit of everything. And so that's what I've been doing. So we did go, kind of our separate ways when it came to the gym stuff, but it's been working for us.
Yeah.
We're not on the same like meal plans or anything.
No.
He's doing his tracking of everything. I'm kind of doing whatever in moderation. But it's been working. I feel like we're in good places with our health and fitness right now, which is nice. So
I would like to get you in there one day a week with me, though. It's still fun working out together at least one time.
I know, but now it's gonna be hot in there.
Oh, they're the Giant fans.
Yeah.
It's not too bad.
No.
The warehouse, the brick, it's made out of brick and everything. It stays pretty cool. So.
So that's been good. That's been going on.
But
what else?
That's basically what we wanted to touch on. We didn't want to have like a plan or a list of, we're not going to do the memes or the
just to catch up.
Just
and we'll
to
probably
catch up.
revamp our plan too. Like I think it's time to change up everything too. And I kind of like just going with the flow and putting it out there and sharing whatever's going on and chatting about current things that are going on and stuff. So
the flow's better. It doesn't seem like you're following a list and then you're a robot going to the next one.
I probably won't like it. I mean, I'm not even as up on my memes and everything either, just because I've been so busy. Social media is kind of taking a back burner as well.
It doesn't even have to be memes, and we'll talk about what we want to do. But I like when Tom and Christina have their TikTok corner. Mm-hmm. You and me will find videos and we'll show each other when we have some backlogged all the time. Those are always hilarious. It's like
one more. Look at this one.
And
sometimes our humor is not the same.
I was just gonna say that.
I'm like,
sometimes our humor is different. Where
funny, and then I'll show him something, and I'll be like, oh my gosh, trying to spit it out and showing him like, this is so funny, or me and the girls at work were dying, and he's just like, huh,
it had to be funny. There, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. And so that's always entertaining.
I'll see a meme that's like a total pun. And I'm like, God, that's stupid, but Jamie would love it.
Yeah.
And so I'll show her. She'd be like,
his are just like not okay. Like,
yes,
his
sometimes
are not.
mine are.
I'm like, that's terrible. That's not funny.
I have memes that I have a group of friends that I text, and they ask why Jamie's with me sometimes.
Yeah,
they're like,
he's going
does
to
your
hell
wife
for sure.
know the memes that you share with us? I'm like, nope.
I'm like, please don't post that one.
There's some that I could never. With today's cancel culture, it'd be fucking done.
We'd probably get blocked. Like, people would probably report us.
Yes. Speaking of reporting, like 15 of my Instagram has been so stupid lately. I have so many old videos that are getting blocked or muted because of music that was years ago.
Yeah, it's weird.
So they're gonna find everything these days. But other than that, we just wanted to say hi, fill you guys in. I'm off to the gym now. Jamie already got her workout in this morning.
Cruzy and I got to go run some errands, and then we have a full day of literally barbecues. We've got a birthday one, a graduation one, a just because one. So we're going to go make our appearance at all of them and eat all the food at all of them. Well, free food all day. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, so we've got a busy day. But he was thinking like maybe we should do this record on Sunday. But I was motivated like, no, let's do it now. Let's just do it. I'll be ready for the day. Tomorrow I won't. That means I'll have to clean up for you guys.
Yeah.
And then clean the house. So I'm glad we did this now, and I'm looking forward to doing more and making it a regular thing again. We do need to get more active on our Salty Blowie Insta. I know that kind of definitely, went on the back burner.
Yeah.
It's been crickets over there. So
Yeah. All right. Well, we hope you guys have a fabulous weekend. Stay safe. It's hot out there. Central Coast is getting busier and busier as the weekend goes. So I'm sure we'll see some of you later. So this won't come out until probably Monday. So I'll have to figure out the schedule on when they will be released. If we're going to be doing them on Saturdays. Sunday gives me all the time to edit and do all this. So other than that, good to be back.
Yeah.
We will see you guys later. Go follow Salty Blowie on Instagram. Subscribe on YouTube. And we'll see you guys next time.
peace. Bye.